President Muhammadu Buhari says corruption in the education sector has undermined the government's efforts and investments over the years. The president, who declared open the 4th National Summit on Diminishing Corruption in the Public Sector at the State House, noted that the federal government alone cannot bear the cost of funding education due to declining resources. The summit was organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (Icpc), Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB). The president expressed concern on the manifestation of various forms of corruption in the education sector. President Buhari commended the Icpc for investigating and prosecuting sexual harassment as abuse of power in educational institutions.
Government will continue to fund education within realistically available revenue, but stakeholders, including the media, should equally advocate for transparency in the amount generated as internally generated revenue by educational institutions and how such funds are expended. Corruption in the expenditure of internally generated revenue of tertiary institutions is a matter that has strangely not received the attention of stakeholders in tertiary education, including unions. I call on stakeholders to demand accountability in the administration of academic institutions and for unions to interrogate the bloated personnel and procurement expenditure of their institutions. Let me also implore the unions to work with government to put faces and identities to names on the payroll.
In his remarks, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said the education sector had steadily assumed a pariah status because of corruption that erodes values and resources, noting that education had become an enabler of corruption instead of a tool for reforms and molding character.
This administration is very much aware that there is need for the commitment of stakeholders in the sector to take anti-corruption initiatives more seriously and deploy them to tackle corrupt practices. The National Ethics and Integrity Policy remains a tool for all stakeholders in the education sector to collaborate on a consistent basis with anti-corruption agencies, most especially the Icpc, on mechanisms for corruption prevention.
One of the parastatals of the federal government, which has, as the chairman himself said, under the leadership of Professor Ishaq Oloyede, achieved something that no other agency in recent times has achieved. Sir, it has extended the boundaries of transparency and accountability in the conduct of its business. It is therefore only right that the 2022 National Summit on Diminishing Corruption in the Public Sector not only showcases experiences of such agencies, but also draws attention to potential pitfalls that might be encountered in the continued pursuit of eradicating corruption from our society.
Corruption in education manifests in different ways, such as recruitment of unqualified or unfit persons to teach at primary, secondary or tertiary levels, admission racketeering, exam malpractice, diversion of revenue for and within the sector, the operation of illegal academic institutions, especially at tertiary level, the abuse of power and procurement rules by the management and governing councils, both of academic or regulatory institutions.
President Buhari was presented with an award of anti-corruption icon by the chairman and board of the Icpc. From the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Folorunsho Adegoke, Core TV News.